Hello friends, these are a few of the folded pens that I use for drawing and calligraphy and maybe some other things if you've seen any of my other videos. It's one of my favorite um, artist tools. I make these out of just sheet brass, fold them over in half, trim the shapes to different angles and things so that I can get different kinds of lines and stuff. Well, I had an inspiration the other day. And what I did was I took a standard nib, like the one here, and I just nipped off the end of it to make it flat so that I could do broad style lettering. So not only does it do the regular folded type lettering with this big long line here, and you kind of, what you do is you take the ink and dip the pen into the ink, and then you've got flow coming out of the little seam here at the bottom. If you go with the wide part on the paper, you get a wide stroke, and then if you roll it up on the tip, you get a thin stroke, and that's kind of basically how the pen works. Well, now with this one here, not only do you have the wide and the thin that comes off of this curved part of the pen, but you also have a pseudo broad pen kind of thing going on. So with a single pen, you're getting a lot of different strokes. Let me just kind of show you what we came up with here. So I'm using some, I call it gillyweed ink. It's basically just all of the leftover ink that I have that's not enough to dip in anymore. Dump it all into one jar, and the color that comes out is kind of interesting. So first of all, here's the typical folded thing. You get the thin lines this way, thick lines as you go across. You get splatter if you mark down here into the bow of it, because then it vibrates around, and so you can get some really cool sort of effects going. This is the folded style. Now I also do a little bit more controlled, a little less pressure, but you can make these letters neater also with less pressure. So you can look at that. All right, but here's the part that's interesting. If I use my clipped off point, I now can do broad style letters, which would be anything from black letter type. Obviously this is really quick. I'm not trying to make it really straight, but it's kind of cool that you can get these wide and thin strokes out of the same pen that was doing this other stuff over here. So we've got that. You can do italic. Like this, or even, sorry if the paper's making you dizzy, even go with the Celtic style. Essentially any broad pen style that you want to do, this will do it. And with, again, the same pen that's doing the splattering and the folded style. If you had only one pen to take on a road trip to do a little bit of art while you're out, I think this would be my go-to. So hope you enjoy that.